What's up, guys? My name is D Styles.
What's up? Shortcut, Little Scratch Pickles, Beach Junkie Sound, California.
I got into scratching because I was a b-boy before, and from that I heard scratching in the music that we used to break to, and I was always curious what that sound was. I had some older friends; they had a turntable and a mixer, and I saw what they were doing with it. Also seeing early rap videos too, Malcolm McLaren and Rocket, Herbie Hancock. There was a lot of scratching back then, so that got me into it.
And we both came from the Bay Area, where we have a deep mobile sound system culture. So after watching those videos, we end up getting with a group of our friends and forming a sound system where we would do parties, birthdays, weddings. And back then, that was our DJ battles. We were competitive. There was, in the Bay Area, there was about almost 100 mobile disc jockey, mobile sound systems in the Bay, and everyone would fight for the same parties. So that's how we would let the crowd determine who the best crews were to get. So we would all, he come from a crew called
Sound City.
Sound City. I come from a group called Just Too Hype, and then from there there was a bunch of us who stuck with it, and the sound system culture kind of faded out, but we just kept going with so I think scratching and the whole battle scene, competition scene took us there. Stuff like DMC, New Music Seminar.
Back then, I had my dad's old turntable, and there was a store in the U.S. called Radio Shack, and they make very affordable mixers. So for my birthday, I asked my mom, "Can you buy me this DJ mixer?" And so she bought me a mixer, and from then on, I was just always a bedroom scratcher, one turntable and one mixer, and I didn't get two turntables until years later.
Yeah, same here. I've always known about the sound system scene, watching other older DJs around me in the garage parties. It wasn't until I was my 12th birthday, I collected all my money that I got. It was a good amount that year. I had enough to buy me one turntable and one mixer. And I was riding the bus. I was so excited. After school, I went straight to the DJ store in San Francisco, bought it, and brought it on the bus by myself. Just luckily, no one robbed me. But yeah,
what mixer was it?
My first mixer was a Pyramid 4700. It's almost like the Gemini 2200s with the wooden sides, but very stiff fader. But it was just enough for me to learn the essentials. And my friend had other turntables, so I had two different turntables, not even 1200s. But back then, we kind of dealt with what we have. Even though it's not like now you can go to the store and buy 1200s or Pioneer turntables easily, but back then it was really hard. Belt-driven turntables. It wasn't as accessible as it was now.
Back then too, since we were mobile DJs, our first sets, well, at least my first set was DJing house parties for your friends. You would have a house party or a party in the garage with a bunch of friends, 50, 100 people, and we would DJ. You play all kinds of music, not just hip hop. Play everything, new wave. We would play hip hop, Miami bass.
The early music back then, especially in the Bay Area, was popular was Latin freestyle and Miami bass, real up-tempo stuff. But with that's how we learned a lot of scratching, because a lot of the Miami bass songs had a lot of scratching in it. So I would try to copy what I heard from the records. So that's why I think we come from a heavy scratch culture in the Bay Area because of that, listening to other DJs from Miami scratching real fast beats.
man, there was, you know, so many DJs that came before us that paved the way for us. You know,
Too many mentions.
there's too many. Jazzy Jeff, DJ Aladdin, Steve D,
Joe Cooley,
DST,
DJ Miz, Steve D, all the X-Men,
Magic Mike. Yeah,
DJ Man.
yeah, there's so many, but they influenced us, you know, from East Coast to Midwest to Miami. You know, it's a big melting pot in California of music. So I think we were very lucky to be influenced by all these guys. You know?
And mind you, we weren't watching these people. We were always listening to what they did on records. Like,
There was no videos.
There was no videos. We didn't. You know, we only just try to. How did you do that scratch? We listen to it over and over again. Put it back to the beginning and listen to it again. So you know, to learn back then was a little harder than it is now.
I used to listen to Cash Money scratching on records and try to figure out what exactly he was doing. DJ Undercover and DJ Supreme from the UK, from a group called Hijack. So ahead of their time. We used to listen and study all the scratches on their albums. And that's pretty much the way we live.
Yeah.
You just gotta lock yourself in the room and do it. You gotta put in the time. There's no shortcut to it. You know, I think the best way to really learn is to practice different tempos. You know, slow like a 60, 65 BPM to the mid 90 to 100 to the fast, you know, 130, 140 BPMs. If you can at least tackle those 3 BPMs, you're gonna be very comfortable scratching.
And just different genres of music too, as far as like, you know, I mean, different genres of music have different tempos as well. So just being able to scratch the different kind of rhythms, that also helps out, like, you know, your flow is the way you scratch, you know. So.
When I make a routine, I'm thinking of a structure. So you have a chorus, and then you have the big solo verse, and then you go back to the chorus, and maybe another verse. So you want to take the listener on a journey, almost like you're giving a speech, and when you talk, you know, you introduce yourself, you come in the room and say hi. And you start out and you build it, and then you want to reach some type of climax, and the song is done. That's kind of my vision of it.
In addition to that, for a regular, like a ballad routine, everything he said, and I also like to say to keep it balanced with a beat juggle routine. It kind of shows your versatility and shows you know, a little bit of that you're able to do everything. You know, I think most DMC champions have that balance of being able to do the best of both worlds. So yeah, I definitely look forward to a nice scratch routine, well thought of, well sequenced, and then a little bit of beat juggling as well.
I would say if you plan to compete, you know, you should definitely watch some of the older battle videos and learn and see what works and what doesn't work, and just to just have a very clean set, a very clean presentation. And that's one thing I admired about Japanese DJs. Is it seems like all the DJs are always very, very clean.
I've always seen, or I always look at the Japanese DJ culture to be like, yeah, especially to be very innovative. You know, there's always someone who comes along every couple of years that does something really different that everyone follows. We can go as far back as DJ Jihan Yoshi, one of the early champions, who had a big influence on myself and a lot of other DJs. Yeah, just being able to stand out and do something that the next DJ hasn't done. I think something that I think every DJ who enters the battle should try to do as much as they can.
I mean, there's definitely good and bad to it. Before when I had to press up show vinyl just to have, my scratch kits just for my shows, and it was so expensive, and the record would get worn out, and with digital, it's nice because I'm able to have my ideas and have it ready just right away. So I love that part of it. The bad part is with digital, it's creating all these overnight DJs, a lot of celebrity DJs who have no business DJing period, that are taking jobs from real DJs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's a gift and a curse. I mean, especially as a traveling DJ, I think the digital systems have helped us. Before we had to carry crates with records, and the thoughts of losing it, the thoughts of paying overweight fees just for our records. But now that it's there, it's definitely a convenience. But yeah, same thing. It's you're kind of giving that convenience to a bunch of people who have no idea of what the struggle is for, what it was like before that. I mean, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. It's good and bad, but I suggest that all DJs who just jump into to the digital scene, should at least try to buy vinyl as well. Just keep with everything, keep the balance, so you know where it's coming, where everything came from.
They've got to know that it's a very it's not always glamour and glitz. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work behind the scenes. You've got to manage yourself. You got to learn the business.
Yeah,
that's one thing for sure. You should learn the business, how to get your music out there, how to distribute it.
Promotion,
how to make money, how to book shows, how to market your brand.
No, definitely. I mean, it's not just you have to take yourself out as not. You have to, if you're doing it professionally, you can't think of just as an artist. You have to be a business person as well. I mean, of course, with any business that you do, you want to make sure all the business is taken care of. Just also before you get into it, know your lane. What is your goal out of for a long-term goal? As scratch DJs, it's a hard thing to do. Like just to get certain gigs. Not all very scarce to get bookings. As we're probably one of the few people who are blessed to have a career of doing what we love to do, especially with scratching. But as well, I think we from our sound system background, we learned that the versatility is important. So let's say if we can't just scratch, we still need to rock the party. We can still play for 2 hours straight and play different kind of music too. So I think besides being a scratch DJ, I think it's really important to have the foundation as a DJ, as a selector as well. More than anything, you know what I mean? Because that I think has longevity in it, and I think your arsenal of having a scratch background is like that's what separates you from the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I would say too, you should be very open-minded towards all types of music genres. If you get stuck being the king of, I don't know, one type of genre, and all of a sudden that genre is not really big anymore, then sort of like your career comes to a big halt. So, if you're able to play all kinds of music and stuff, you won't be pigeonholed into just one thing.
Yeah. Keep an open mind. Keep it versatile always. Always, be open. When we were younger, especially as hip hop DJs, we would look at other genres like house. I didn't like house music. Like house was a little whack. But now I'm DJing with other DJs who play that genre, and I have respect for them because I know what they do. I think that's just for anything that we do. Like I said, just it's that longevity of I think just coming from the sound systems, when we used to do birthday parties and stuff like that, we used to have to be able to know how to play everything. And now that you just watch battles like other battles like the Rebel battles, they have that versatility where they have to learn how to play everything. It's I think there's longevity in that, and then I think it's important to be able to have that as your background.